Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Larry LaRock, your presenter. In our top stories, DAPEX reached milestone in dashing exports. Early morning house fire in Bahamas kills 6. Kenya forces comb Westgate sites. And in sports, Kirk Edwards shook 104 as Windies A take limited overs series. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. Over the past few weeks, there have been a series of pornographic videos which surface into the Dominican society, beckoning concerns from those directly and indirectly affected. These videos have been circulating via social media, and when the circulation of these videos seem to be at a minimum, a reliable source has told SAT TV these videos have been posted to an international pornographic website. The videos in question, according to the website, are of a local DJ and a female partaking in sexual activities. The police authority is therefore asking the persons whose faces are being portrayed to come forward. These individuals can go to the police headquarters and make formal reports where further investigations can be carried out. Minister for Tourism Honorable Ian Douglas is calling for improved service from stakeholders for the 2013-2014 cruise ship season, which officially opens in October. Dominica has set the mark for a 20% increase in cruise ship calls. However, the minister is urging Dominicans not to practice complacency.
Even the persons who take independent tours on the ground, they are part of the experience, so they too have to fill out the form when they get back to the ship. So we need all of our tour operators and our bus drivers to understand that you have to give a proper service. It doesn't make sense charging a guest $20 EC and rush him up to Trafalgar and rush him back, and you do 10 trips in the day and you make some money, but the experience is jeopardized. You're undermining the destination's ability to remain competitive when you do that.
The off-season has been utilized to educate the individuals involved in the tourism sector.
We use the off-season to educate the guys about the necessity to always provide premium service. Even our vendors on the bayfront, our vendors who try to sell more local craft. I mean, when you go to a Chinese store and you order a cheap Chinese product, the ship passes through St. Martin, sometimes Antigua, the USVIs, before they get to Dominica, and they see the same t-shirts free for $10 or the same Chinese produced mug. So what we have to do, we have to work with our local and indigenous craft producers in Dominica.
Mr. Douglas says Dominicans need to be unique and utilize the local crafts to have a comparative advantage.
The guest comes to Dominica, we have to have the wow feeling. It doesn't make sense show him the same thing, the same t-shirt that he sees in St. Martin 3 for 10, we have it here for 20 EC or 1 for 20 EC. But you know, we have to be unique, we have to be different. And that's what is going to cause us to continue to grow.
Island-wide efforts to enhance visitor experience to Dominica are still ongoing. Mr. Douglas emphasized that the survival of the industry depends on the nation, and an improved tourism industry will attract more visitors to the island. In more news, Dominica has the potential to become the Caribbean's ICT, Information Communications Technology Center, should we decide to educate our young minds and ensure that every child has access to the necessary education and ICT tools to enable him or her to succeed. This was according to Minister for Information, Telecommunications and Constituency Empowerment, Honorable Ambrose George, during his address at the launching of an e-learning symposium which began on Monday, September 23rd.
ICTs must be used as the enabling tool to ensure educational success, and thus we must vigorously pursue the learning and the teaching of ICT and its related subjects in every school.
The benefits derived from the telecommunications liberalization process which Dominica has pioneered are plentiful. According to the minister, now is the time for us to embrace every opportunity to educate the children of this nation, to work collaboratively with the government and the private sector to help foster the continued educational development for our people in every area of endeavor. Only when this is done, he says, can we truly benefit from the liberalization of the telecommunications sector.
It is therefore obvious that we meet to continue to work tirelessly for the educational advancement of our people through the use of ICT technologies and innovations. It was Walter Cronkite who once stated, and I quote, "Whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap compared to that of an ignorant nation," unquote. Our education strategy has called for us to be a nation of smart and intelligent people, and we seek to uphold such an ideal by utilizing the power of telecommunication and ICT technologies to ensure that our citizens remain fully literate and on the leading edge of education in the region.
Mr. George said he will continue to lead the charge to ensure Dominica's telecommunication infrastructure is sufficiently robust and sound to provide the necessary technical support to propel our students to be the best they can be in the world of academia to benefit from the effective use of ICT. In more news, a black activist of Dominican parentage has realized the necessity for Dominicans to re-educate themselves as a society. Mr. Franklin Georges from the community of Salisbury donated 100 books to the public library on September 24th while emphasizing on the importance of history. His aim is to place Dominica on the map for having the best black history library within the Caribbean. Mr. Georges is also urging the public to come together to form a group which he has named the Friends of the Library to help enhance the library. Books were also donated to the students of the Wesley High School by Reverend Huey Edward. This is the third donation Mr. Georges has made to the Roseau Public Library. He has also promised that upon completion of a new library, all of the books from his home will be donated to the library for Dominicans to read. In other news, General Manager of DAPEX, Dominica Agricultural Producers and Exporters, Mr. Errol Emmanuel, has announced that the organization has reached a milestone in dashing exports.
In 2009, we started diversifying the range of crops for exports, and we started last year with dashing as a commercial crop that we have a US market for, and we've been working with farmers and other agencies over the past few months, and we're pleased to announce our first 40-foot export of dashing to the United States, and we're pleased about that. We want to thank the farmers, our workers, our staff, management, who all played a part in making it become a reality, and we know that Dominica is much better off for that.
Mr. Emmanuel says Dominicans should all rally behind agriculture, especially as DAPEX continues to explore market options to sell local produce abroad. Product Officer Mr. Elisha St. Louis congratulated all involved in reaching this milestone, especially the farmers who continue to supply DAPEX with excellent quality dashings.
It's not a common practice that people ship that volume of dashing, and it proves that we have what it takes to deliver that volume of dashing. I really want to encourage growers to be to be positive about it. It's something that we want to continue to do, and all it says is that we should all come together to ensure that we continue to deliver that high quality of dashing and at the volume that is expected for the market out there. So all in all, I believe it was a good effort on all parties concerned, right through the chain, and we will do all what it takes to ensure that we can continue to deliver the quality of dashing and the volume of dashing that the market requires.
Operations Officer of DAPEX, Mr. Julian Elwin, noted DAPEX will continue to engage farmers in production and exports for a commercial approach.
In this project for dashing exports to the United States, we currently have about 200 farmers registered in the program, and this is the third container of dashing being exported to the United States. It's a 40-foot container, which has about 40,000 pounds of dashing, and a value to the farmers in this country of about 70,000 EC dollars. The project is here to stay, and I would like to encourage all farmers in the program to remain focused, and also to encourage other farmers who are not in the program to become part of the program, because this program is going to be here for months and years to come.
DAPEX currently exports 20 different types of produce abroad. In other stories, following the murder of 21-year-old Kenny George of Wharton Waven on Monday, September 23rd, of which 19-year-old Asher James, who also resides at Wharton Waven, was charged, has left the entire community grieving. One of Mr. George's closest cousins, Mr. Hani Sons, was very emotional, stating this murder was unfortunate and uncalled for.
Kenny wasn't to me the way I know him and see him. To me, he wasn't a troublemaker, because you would trouble him, and you have to prick him that much, and he still wouldn't lash back. You know what I'm saying? And for somebody to just take his life just like that, and for justice not to be served, I don't know.
She described him as a fun, outgoing individual who would always find a way to make his friends laugh and was not one to make anyone feel bad. According to Ms. Sons, this incident hurt her really bad, and she is trying her best to move on, but this process will be very difficult. I pray to God that justice will be served for the person responsible for Kenny's death, she added. Another relative of Mr. George, Ms. Sharon Joseph, says the villagers are disgusted by the act committed against her loving cousin.
We know Kenny growing up, all of us, and he was a jovial, with everybody kind of person. When you see Kenny, he has a smile on his face, and he's just warm, he's friendly, loving, you understand? And what happened, I'm besides myself, because I cannot believe that someone would brutally murder my cousin. He was a cousin, he was a friend, he was a brother. I heard that there was some conflict over a dog. A dog?
He promised to kill the dog.
I mean, from what I hear, the dog, when it normally see Kenny, it would chase him. So obviously he's going to defend himself. So I don't know how bad he maybe hurt the dog, or if he hurt the dog.
Ms. Joseph feels relief will not come anytime soon, especially after seeing the body of her cousin, whose life was inhumanely taken. The victim's grandmother, who is 77 years old, following the incident, stated, "This is the first time in a lifetime such an act has been committed in the community of Wharton Waven." In more news, 10 individuals led by Lieutenant Governor Dr. Dolores B. Lewis were inducted into the Kiwanis Club of Roseau at an installation ceremony on the night of Monday, September 23rd. The individuals included Bernadette Austri, David Edwards, Mordecai Edwards, Shyla Esprit, Hermancia Eugene, Wesley Henderson, Valendra John Baptist, Sherano Moranci, Ansel Prince, and Kerwan Vigilante. Giving the President's report, Ms. Conda Hamlet stated, this year they partnered with several organizations including the Shiny Star Preschool in Canefield, where they hosted Fruit Day to promote healthy living and eating habits. For the first time ever, the Kiwanis Club held 16 activities apart from their annual activities.
The Dominica Dental Unit to host Dental Day at the Social Center Preschool, and we had a fun and interesting puppet show at the Christian Union Preschool where yours truly, Madam President, I was the grandmother. So while our priority is to work with young children, we did many other service projects as well. We partnered with the Petit Savane and Cassibrus constituency to donate 17 boxes of clothes to families who need them. We helped the DADP raise funds with their annual Wheeler Walkathon. We collaborated with Cashways, and we had a campaign to clean up the Rosa River.
According to the Lieutenant Governor, Dr. Dolores B. Lewis, the ceremony brings together one group of faithful volunteers coming from all walks of life with a diversity of professions and one common goal of changing our world, one child and one community at a time.
In the words of the young at heart, I say, this is awesome. I also bring you greetings to you from our Governor Hope Marks, who is Jamaican, and she's Governor of the Eastern Canada and Caribbean District, who this coming year is advocating dreaming, believing, and building. To dream, one should have a vision. To believe, one should believe in that vision. And if you should build on that vision, you are sure to achieve success in your clubs, not only in your Kiwanis Club, but also in life itself.
New officers and board directors include Secretary Shaila Esprit, Treasurer Latoya Peter, Vice President Nadine Riviere, President Conda Hamlet, Young Children Priority 1 Chair Hermancia Eugene, Membership Growth and Education Chair Bernadette Austri, and Club Activities and Social Chair Amanda Williams.
That's it.
In more news, the Cassibrus Health District, in response to this year's Caribbean Wellness Month, held an info hike on September 21st geared towards the youth. This was possible through collaboration with persons and organizations which were considered to have a slick attitude. Slick means participating in activities which contribute or support positive attitudes and general wellness. The group comprised of young persons who benefited from a comprehensive tour of Kudben Organic Farm and subsequently the Rosalie Bay Resort. While on the farm, the group got a taste of many organic fruits and learned what types of fruits are significant for certain illnesses. Mr. George, an agronomist by profession, also lectured and demonstrated to the group the tricks of his trade, including the importance of soil and plant science to soil management and crop production. At the Rosalie Bay Resort, they learned the risk that the turtle population now face and the collective efforts needed to conserve these incredible animals. There was a quick tour on the beautiful grounds of the Rosalie Bay Resort, which is nestled harmoniously in the unique flora and fauna of Dominica. The youth will also be required to write an essay or a story on the activities they experienced during the hike. To complete this year's activities for Caribbean Wellness Month, the health team in collaboration with the Cassibrus Secondary School will put on a mini play called Slick and Bubbling on Thursday 26 at the Cassibrus Secondary School. In other stories, individuals of the Peer Helpers program held by the National Drug Abuse Prevention Unit and the Ministry of Health were recognized at an award ceremony at the Public Service Union on Tuesday, September 24th. Ms. Jacinta Banis, Director of National Drug Abuse Prevention Unit, informed that the program was launched in October of 2012. The initiative was to help strengthen the drug prevention efforts at the schools.
The strategy is to have a cadre of students who will help sustain the work of the National Drug Abuse Prevention Unit within their schools and also in the community by extension. It is envisaged that the Peer Helpers program will replace the drug-free clubs that once existed in our schools. We had a program under the EDF. There was a lot of money, and everybody had a club in their school. But after the money dwindled, most of this club just disappeared.
Ms. Barney said they felt it was extremely important to get the children more involved in activities within the schools. Each year, the program is held at the grade 4 level. Therefore, when the children move on to grade 5, they are already established as peer helpers for 1 year in the school system.
During that time, they will develop leadership skills because they'll be showing leadership skills within the school. They will work as a team, and they will do networking within the school and outside of the school. And they will create a space for interaction to help their peers. Very often, peers listen to peers because when we talk about peer pressure, the peer pressure could be positive or negative. So we believe that after the drug prevention officer, go out there and do the workshops, they themselves can go into the classroom and talk to the others at their level. So that is why we call it the Peer Helpers program.
During the school year of 2012 to 2013, only 15 schools registered into the program. For the year 2013 to 2014, Ms. Barnes is encouraging persons from schools and other districts to join the program as registrations have already commenced and will run through October. Mrs. Helen Roye, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, stated that children will be more likely to make appropriate decisions about alcohol and drugs if preventative measures are accessible.
This program seeks to provide the greatest opportunity for growth and development, but the school environment must be alcohol and drug-free to sustain such an initiative. The school must realize that it shares the responsibility for addressing the alcohol and other drug issues with the community, and it cannot be solely the responsibility of the Ministry of Health. It must also recognize the value of this preventative supportive approach to dealing with alcohol and other drugs and continue to lend their support.
Earlier this year, the Drug Prevention Unit awarded drug-free billboards to schools, developed and distributed manuals for the schools, as well as conducted a series of health sessions throughout the country.
Yet, we continue to see our young people more and more becoming victims of drug abuse, some losing their lives as a result. This, therefore, is a welcome and relevant program, but will not be effective if these young peer helpers do not lead by example and if the school and community fall short in providing them with the necessary support.
It is the ministry's hope that these students will be keen to learn and model the positive traits. The St. Luke's Primary School received the Top School Award.
So St. Luke, you're going to hold it for a year. And it means that the other schools have to try to win it from them. So we represent St. Luke's School with the shield for 2012-2013. So the St. Luke's School, the teacher and her team can come up to receive their prize. So give them a big hand. You're going in order. First prize, the first place. So wait, St. Luke, do not move us yet. Because the shield will be moved from school to school if you don't try to keep it next year, we are going to give you a plaque for first place so that you will have it. So when the shield is gone, somebody can still see that you were awarded first place. So we have a first place shield for St. Luke's School.
We now go to Shana with court news.
In court matters, Jones Scuffy of Monkey Hill, Marigot was remanded at the Stockholm State Prison after he appeared before Magistrate Candia George on Tuesday, September 24th. Scuffy was slapped with a charge of grievous bodily harm following an incident on September 20th in Marigot, where it is alleged that he maliciously caused grievous bodily harm to Leslie Edwards. The prosecution objected to bail on the grounds that the condition of the victim is unknown. Bail was closed by the magistrate to allow the police to monitor the condition of the victim. The preliminary inquiry is set for February 14th, 2014. In more court news, the trial of Kingshill resident Leon Mitchell was set for February 4, 2014, following his appearance at the Roseau Magistrates Court. He was charged with threats, intimidation, and possession of an offensive weapon in 2 separate incidents on September 17th and 18th. However, pleaded not guilty to all charges. Reports are that on September 17th, he threatened to kill his father, Stevenson Mitchell, and intimidated him with a knife and a bottle. He was caught carrying a knife and a beer bottle by a police officer on September 18th without a satisfactory explanation. He was already being bailed in the sum of $2,000 on his own recognizance. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.